So, ladies and gentlemen, this interview with Sara is brought to you by www.employeeescapeplan.com. If you want to escape your soul-sucking job and build a business that you love, serving people with the passions and the skills and abilities that you have within you, or get more clients to pay you more money more often, head over to www.employeeescapeplan.com and let Joe know Chris sent you. Sara Cruz. As a certified high-performance coach, Sara brings people from where they are to where they want to be, personally and professionally. She helps people who yearn to stop eyeing others with envy to become the version of themselves that makes others turn their head and take notice. She empowers people to stop feeling as if they are just going through the motions and challenges them to reignite their passion for life. Together, she helps clients break through barriers that are holding them back by building a customized personal path for success and fulfillment. Having spent years studying psychology, self-confidence, communication, time management, and high-performance habits, Sara knows the skills necessary to live an incredible quality of life. Sara is a coach, speaker, writer, kindness and gratitude advocate, and a total book nerd. Sara has been featured as a guest expert in coaching programs and virtual summits, as well as being an active contributor in writing platforms. Sara believes everyone deserves more in life, and her dynamic coaching style creates noteworthy results. Sara, you ready to rock it?
I'm ready.
Awesome. You are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Sara, thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time out of your schedule and your life, coaching people, empowering people to come and share it with our audience. We are so grateful for you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. I'm so excited to be here with you and to talk with you today.
Yes. Awesome.
Yes!
I know on our call when we talked, I think it was like last week, right? We're like, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
We're going to have a blast. So
we're like energy and energy. Boom.
Boom. Yes.
You know?
We're going to be diving into confidence today, and you're going to be teaching us about that and sharing some really cool stuff, high performance stuff, productivity stuff with our audience, and in alignment with confidence. And before we get there, let's start with your journey. How did you get to where you are today? What were some of the challenges that you had to overcome to be this powerhouse coach who's empowering people and loving life and so much energy? How did you get here?
Sure. I think I'll talk a little bit about my story in the realm of confidence, since that is the topic that we're talking about today and that I'm so passionate about. So when I was little, I was actually a very confident kid, to be honest. I was blessed with amazing parents who really said, you want to try that? Great, do it. You can do it. Go for it, which was amazing. So I played sports and did professional and non-professional theater. I was on, teams in school, choirs. I mean, you name it, I did it. Gymnastics, dance. And it was really amazing. And then after that and leaving school, my confidence kind of tapered off. I went to college like most people do, and you're in this whole new area, new environment, new friends. Are they going to like me? Are they going to judge me? Should I share that? Should I not share that? And then I moved to Florida from New York and really left everything I'd ever known. I just packed my stuff and left with no plan, which was amazing and terrifying. And it was the same thing all over again. And I remember in 2015 when I started coaching, I really hit this wall when it came to how I felt about myself. As an entrepreneur, and anyone that's watching this or listening to this, entrepreneurship is not easy. It's definitely not. It has that up and down of people that support you and they're your number one fan and they're cheerleading you and they're so excited for what you do. And then there's other people that are not so supportive and have no problem telling you that they don't support anything you're doing. And I really found that really depleted my confidence at that point in my life in 2015. And it really affected my business, my personal life, everything. And I started really studying the psychology of confidence. And that's my background, and my degrees are in psychology. And I also learned a lot about the physical aspects of, confidence and the emotional aspects of confidence. And my personal and professional life really changed. So for any of you out there that are entrepreneurs or in business, I'm here to tell you, building your confidence and developing your confidence is doable. It's so doable, and it's actually so much easier than you think it is. So I'm really excited to talk about this today.
Awesome, awesome. And before we get into the actual steps and the tips that you have for us, today's theme is also, who are you really? So if someone asks you, Sara, who are you really? Like, how do you respond to that question?
Ooh, love it. Great question, Chris. If I was to answer, who am I really? I would probably say I am kind. I'm a huge kindness advocate. I think being kind to people in general can make such a difference in the world. Even a simple smile on the street, you never know what kind of day that person is having. So I think that's a really big part of truly who I am. I think also, who am I really? I'm someone who has struggled a lot in life, but who has been able to become resilient and learn from those struggles. And I think that that's really one of the reasons that I am such a powerful coach, because I can resonate and I have so much compassion for all of my clients. But I can usually relate to other people really easily because I've been there or I've been through something similar. But I can also be that motivator and supporter to show you that there's a better way, another way, and, you know, the ability to change. So, and I love animals and the outdoors and the beach and family and tea and books. If you want to recommend a book, I'm all for it. Anyone listening, let me know what you're reading. And if you love it, that's definitely who I am as well.
I love it. That was perfect, Sara. Perfect. Because really, like, the reason why is because everyone has a different answer to that and a different place that they come from. You know, it's like, who are you? Okay, well, here's what I do. You know, I'm a trash man. Here's who are you? I'm a artist. Who are you? I'm a football player. Who are you? I'm a teacher. Right. And we can create whatever we want with that answer, So who am I? Like for me, for example, I'm America's #1 motivational speaker for fiery inspiration. Who am I? I'm the guy who's going to fill a 45,000 person Angels baseball stadium with people and have a live event there. Like, so it's just this creative place to play in. And I invite you to like take that on after this interview and see, who am I? Who am I in a force for good in the world? Who am I? When someone asks me that, what is my essence? Who am I as a soul, as a spirit, that kind of thing? It's really, really fun to play around with.
I love that. I'm definitely up for that challenge. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Sweet. So everyone out there listening, think about that too. We're going to be asking these questions about who are we really throughout the day. And Sara, let's start diving in to getting more confidence.
Yes! I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
Perfect. So I'm sure most of you know what confidence is, but just simply stated, confidence is just that feeling or belief that you have in yourself, in your characteristics, and your abilities. So that's really all it boils down to, like very simply stated.
Yes.
So the first thing I want to share today, and tip number 1 of how to catapult your confidence, is be willing to grow your confidence. And I wanted to talk about this first because I really feel like it's the most important thing I'm going to share today. Because oftentimes when you're building your confidence, it's an uncomfortable situation. Think about, like, I like to use this example of when I learned how to drive. I'll tell you a funny story, but don't tell my father I'm sharing this. So when I was learning how to drive, I grew up in a really small country town. And I learned on a stick shift, with my father. And, of course, you have no confidence when you first start learning to drive. Like, no idea. You think you're going to go off the road, you're going to hit, and you don't want to be near a car. Like, everything's awful. And I, at one point, parked the car in the middle of traffic, and I got out of the car when I was learning how to drive.
You're just so frustrated?
I was freaking out. I was frustrated. I had no idea what I was doing. So I had no confidence. But now I can jump in the car. It's brainless. You don't even think about it because I developed that skill. So I want everyone on here to think about confidence as developing a skill, or think about when you go to the gym. If you want to build, see these biceps?
Yeah.
If you want to build your muscle, you have to go and you start going, but you're not going to have, ginormous muscles the first time you go. You have to go to the gym and be uncomfortable and keep practicing to grow your muscles. So think about confidence in that space, that you have a confidence muscle, and it is a skill, and it takes practice to develop that skill. Wow. So that's number one. And the action tip I want to share with you today about that is every week, I usually do this on Sunday night. You can do it whatever feels good to you, but take some time and find a way for you to step outside of your comfort zone in some way that week. Whether it's something, big like a podcast, or write an article, or submit, or reach out to a mentor that you're nervous about reaching out to. Or if it's simply saying hello to that handsome guy across the restaurant when you're there. I mean, it doesn't matter, but just find a way that you can step out of that comfort zone so you can develop your confidence every week.
Beautiful. I love it. Great. And it could even be picking up the phone to make the sales calls that people have been resistant to making.
Absolutely. And confidence can be personal and professional. Sometimes confidence is having the confidence to have that difficult conversation with your partner or a child. It doesn't have to be business related. It can simply be, hey, this is something that's bothering me and I'm scared to talk about this. So it could just be having that confidence to share how you really think and feel in a situation with a best friend or a spouse or a partner or a child.
Wow. Beautiful. I love it. Powerhouse tip number one.
Powerhouse tip number one. All right. Tip number two. Going tip number two. Tip number two is charm yourself before you harm yourself. And I say that because it's catchy and it's easy to remember. So I'll say it again. Charm yourself before you harm yourself. And what I mean by that is be conscious of the words you are using. And whether that's words with yourself in your own mind or how you're speaking about yourself to someone else. Use confident language. And, when I was really lacking confidence, I'll be honest, saying things like, I am confident, like right now, like I could say it. I'm sure you could probably say that too, Chris, right now.
I'm confident.
Right? See? But at a point in my life, that felt like a white lie. It didn't feel that comfortable. It felt like, no, I really am not. So if you're at that point with confidence, I want you to know that's okay. And if you're not strong enough to say, I am confident, or I'm amazing at this, or I'm great at this, then just think the word confidence, success, anything like that. Or say, I'm working on becoming more confident, or I'm working at mastering that skill. Instead of putting yourself down in any situation, there's always a way to flip it to a positive perspective. And the more you say it, you're going to start to feel it and really embody it. And that's going to help you build your confidence.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Cool.
So, okay. And the action step with this is, I feel like oftentimes when we're not using confident language, it's something that we know. I mean, when we're sitting there and we're getting frustrated with a project or something, we start saying, I can't do this, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm not good at this, or I'll never get this done. We're aware that we're doing that. But it's a matter of if we make a choice in that moment to change it. So I want you to remember something that I teach clients, and it's called ABCs because it's easy to remember. So it's awareness. So you have awareness that you're thinking something that's not portraying confidence, not making you feel good. B is breathe. So you're just going to take a moment and center and just be in the moment. And C is make the choice to change it. So it's a really easy way when you're going down that negative self-sabotaging spiral and you're not feeling confident and you're not using confident language, to quickly check in with yourself and be like, hey, that's not serving me right now. And then you can, I am aware of it, take a deep breath and change it. So that's the action step I wanted to share for that one.
ABCs. I love it. Awareness, breathe. Awareness, breathe, and what's the last one?
Change it.
Change it. Change it. That's the most important part.
Maybe. It is. Or you can say make a choice to change it. Whatever you want to say. Whatever works for C.
Love it.
All right. Number 3 for today. Tip number 3 is focus. One of my mentors, Shailene Johnson, always says this, and I've remembered it since the first time I heard her say it, and it rings so true. Confidence grows according to what you feed it. So what you focus on is going to impact your confidence. When I started entrepreneurship, I'm sure it's the same with you, Chris, and started sharing your message, you're out there, you're posting things, you're making videos, you're sharing your message with other people. And it's the same thing if you're not an entrepreneur. Say you give a presentation at work in front of a conference room of 20 of your coworkers, and 15 of those people come up after the presentation and say, wow, that was great. I really enjoyed this. I learned so much. I loved that point. And one person comes up to you and says, I'm not really sure about that one thing. And they have a negative attitude about it. I used to be the person that would focus on that one negative thing. And that will totally derail your confidence. So it's so important to choose what you focus on to catapult your confidence. Focus on those 15, 20, 25, 30 things that are amazing, not the one comment you got after a presentation of someone that just started at the company a week ago and doesn't even know you. I mean, that's not serving you, and that's definitely not serving your level of confidence at all.
No way. That will not catapult you. What will catapult you is focusing on the right things.
Yes, focusing on the right things.
Yes.
So the action step with this one, which this is actually one of my favorite things that I usually save for private clients. So this is for your audience to drop some value.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this action step is I want to encourage everyone listening to this to create what I call I'm a rock star folder. And what I mean by that is there's so many moments in your life where you've felt confident. You've shown up confidently. Maybe you felt fear and you did it anyway. That's confidence. But oftentimes, that's not what we focus on. So I want to encourage you to create something that has these moments of confidence as evidence. It can be a physical folder, a program on your phone, an app that you have, or, anything. It doesn't matter where you put it. But I want you to look at it, and I want you to read it daily, weekly, anytime you're feeling like you're not feeling as confident as you'd like. I want you to pull out this I'm a Rockstar folder, because you have this arsenal of stuff to help you kind of be like, I'm amazing. What's my problem? Why am I not confident right now? And if you're not an entrepreneur and you haven't had a bunch of clients yet, so you don't have, oodles of testimonials to put in your I'm a Rockstar folder, that's okay. Have you helped a neighbor? Did you give a friend advice? Did you support your best friend? Did you go to a holiday party with someone you barely knew and you ended up talking to a bunch of people at the party? It doesn't matter what it is, because there's so many things in your life that you've demonstrated confidence. It's just a matter of choosing to find them and focus on them. So I want you to create an I'm a Rockstar folder and look at it anytime you need that little boost.
That was awesome. Thank you for that gold nugget.
Gold
You're awesome,
nuggets.
Sarah. You're
Coming
awesome.
to you, Chris. Coming to you, Chris.
Yes. I love it. So what's next? What's number 4?
All right. Number 4 is more specifically for your audience. I know you have a lot of entrepreneurs and business people that follow you. So this is specifically for your audience. Number 4 is to own your expertise. And I feel like that is a big struggle and a big challenge, at least with a lot of entrepreneurs and business people that I've spoken to, is really getting to that space mentally and emotionally where you really own it. Like, you own what you do, and it's part of who you are. And you are so, think about Chris. Chris is confident with what he does. Chris has that fiery energy that there is no doubt that he is confident about what he does. But how do you get there, right? How do you actually get to that level? The easiest thing to start to do is to write down what makes you an expert in your field. And I don't just mean personal accolades or professional accolades. I mean both. You know, if, like for me, I'm a coach, right? I have a professional certification. I have degrees in psychology, all of that kind of stuff. But when I started, I didn't have that certification. I had a degree, but I didn't have 2 degrees in psychology yet, all that kind of stuff. But I was the go-to for my friends for advice. I was always the one that was supporting someone or challenging someone to shift their thinking to another way. So although I may not have had 30 clients at that point when I was getting my first few, I could look back at my life and be like, I've always been that one that helped someone, supported someone, challenged someone to be better, to strive for more. So look at your professional credentials and your personal credentials. And again, make a list. Make a little list and make it pretty and stick it right on your desk. Put it right on your desk. So when you're creating content, when you're thinking about doing a live, when you're picking up that phone for that sales call, you're like, I'm an expert. I am an expert. And you have it right in front of you.
That's awesome. And just reinforcing the identity of who we are, who we say we are, newly.
Yes.
Because a lot of the stuff that we're doing to get confidence is deconstructing the old thought patterns and how we used to be before this point. And even people who have been successful still have a lot of that lingering stuff that they deal with on a daily basis that confronts them. So it sounds like, Sara, what you do with your clients is really just empower them to remember all the reasons why. You know, like use logic to define why you are capable, why you are qualified to do this, and what have you experienced in your own life that makes you qualified, what have you experienced in your professional life. And I know for me, when I was thinking about that, just personal, right? I love talking personal. I played a lot of video games growing up, right? So in those video games, what I was really good at is getting the thing that I wanted, whatever the prize was, beating the boss, being number one, like whatever it is I wanted, I figured out how to get it. I read books on it. I studied strategy guides. I used cheat codes, whatever, right? Whatever way to get my prize, I would get it. And now I see that manifesting because I show people how to get whatever it is they want, whatever they want to be, do, and have. I love it. I love the process of discovering, how do I help this client get what they want? What's their vision? Like, let's go. Let's reverse engineer it. Let's break it down. What are the bite-sized steps? What do you need to research? What do you need to have? What skills, abilities? And I love doing that. So that's perfect.
That is wonderful. And thank you so much for sharing that, because that could not have possibly been a more perfect example of what I just talked about. So that was amazing. And thank you so much for adding that and sharing that part of you, because that was awesome. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you, Sara.
I love it. All right. Number 5.
Cinco.
Number 5 is the concept of strengths, not weaknesses. And I will side caveat that I'm an advocate for learning, for growing, for becoming better, for developing new skills. So it's not about ignoring weaknesses. It's about focusing on your weaknesses versus your strengths. So many people I talk to are maybe amazing at video, but they're not a good writer. And yet they're more focused on becoming a better writer than accentuating how amazing they are on video. So that's what I mean. So the action step for this is, I want you to think about what your strengths are. What are you really good at? And that can be life or business. Are you amazing on video? Are you amazing at podcasting? Are you amazing at writing? What is it that you are so amazing at? And then I want you to think about, what would happen to my confidence level, but also my life and my business, if I focused on 10 timesing those strengths this week? What would happen?
Wow.
Because when you're focusing on something that you're really good at, normally when you're really good at it, you're more fired up about it. You're more motivated to do it because you're great at it. And your message is going to come across easier. You're going to attract more clients to you when you're taking those things in life and business that are your strengths. So as I said, I'm all for developing and growing and mastering a skill that maybe you're not great at. But I feel like too oftentimes we focus on those weaknesses instead of strengths. And if we spent more time focusing on our strengths, that would definitely better our lives, but also increase our confidence.
Wow, I love it. So it's almost like we hear the weakest link in the chain analogy. You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yes.
And while that may apply sometimes, what we're choosing to focus on in this moment is choosing like to fuel the fire that's already lit, right? There's already a fire lit in your life of success, of progress, of, you're good at things, skills, abilities. Like, keep that fire burning brighter. Don't neglect the other areas, like make sure your life has some balance to it, and like, your spirituality or your romance or your family or whatever is just not like you just completely let that go and only focus on the fire. But like, how can you really focus on that strength and direct your attention and focus towards that?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that especially applies in business, because there's so many aspects to business, and there's so many different platforms you can share your message on. And I've spoken to so many entrepreneurs and people in business that are, well, I need to get better on video. Video's the thing. I need to get better on video, but they don't like video and they hate it. Well, what do you love? Are you amazing at writing? Then write and show that as a strength, and then build your video skills as well. You know what I mean? That doesn't have to be your only. Focusing on your weaknesses and not your strength is never going to increase your confidence.
Nope.
Cool. He's like, nope. All right. Number 6 is I encourage everyone to find a confident role model. And there's got to be someone in your life, whether it's someone you know personally or maybe someone you just watch online. I would encourage finding someone that you know personally for a few reasons, because I would encourage you to have a conversation with them and get to know them a little bit better. And especially if you want to develop your confidence, and you view them as very confident. Number one, you telling them that's going to feel amazing for them. And then if you're like, I'd really love to have a conversation with you about how you show up like this, how you do this. If you've already said, I really admire you for your confidence, I think it's a couple things. In my experience, one reason is going to be they're too in their own head. Which we talked about earlier. It's that inner voice and those things that you're telling yourself. I'm not at their level of success. I'm not good enough to be in their circle. It's all these things that we're telling ourselves. So have they told you that? No. You're telling yourself that. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And the other thing is that I've come across in my work, especially from the psychological side, is the concept of personalities. A lot of people have a misconception, between being an introvert and an extrovert, and they think, oh, I'm an introvert, so I can't do that. That's not my personality. And it's just not true. Like, what do you think I am? Introvert or extrovert?
Introvert.
I am an introvert. What are you?
I'm more introvert tendencies, but I'm more of an ambivert. I'm really good at being extroverted and like drawing energy from people, but I also really value my alone space.
Your alone time.
Yeah, right. Totally.
So, and I call myself an outgoing introvert because I get the energy like you from other people, but I also, when I really need to recharge and have that deep thinking, I want to be alone. So I feel like that's another thing that people really struggle with and stay stuck. And the other thing is labels. I've come across a lot of more specifically women, because that's more the demographic that I've really dove into this topic with. But I think one of the reasons people stay stuck is the labels they've been given that they didn't give themselves. So by that, I mean, a lot of times I'll talk to someone who maybe was labeled shy as a child, like they grew up and, oh, this is my daughter, she's shy, or this is my son, and no, he won't go out for that because he's shy, that kind of stuff. And when, I know, of course, our parents don't mean anything by this, but they've given us this subconscious label in our head. So oftentimes I feel like it's deeper than even what you have, because it's that label that someone else has given you. So it's really taking notice of, in those moments when you don't feel confident, what are you thinking? What are you actually thinking? And then to take it a step further, well, where is that coming from? You know, is that something that I'm just thinking now, or, oh, I'm thinking I'm shy. Well, where is that coming from? Oh, well, I was called shy my whole life as a child. And then you can kind of start to unravel and undo these labels that you've been given, you know? So I think those are some of the reasons that I think people stay stuck.
Wow. It's powerful. Thank you for sharing those.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So the last two tips that I want to share are specifically to do with when you are engaging with other people. So if you are in a group of people or going to a networking event or you're in a boardroom with a bunch of people, these last two tips are really geared towards that in-person interaction. So tip number 7 is be interested and engaging. I want you to think back to maybe a holiday party you went to or a networking event you went to, and someone entered your little circle and just started being like, I do this, and I published 7 articles, and I did this, and this is the project I'm working on. And they're leading with their resume. Have you ever had that happen? I know I have.
Yes.
And how did that make you feel?
Just turned off, like, oh my God, stop.
Right. Like next, like it doesn't portray confidence when you lead with your resume. I like to think of confidence in a networking or group setting as classy confidence. The person that enters the room that's the loudest or the most, I'm here, you know, I'm even that girl sometimes at parties. I'm not going to lie. Like, I have a lot of energy. I'm sure you do too, Chris. Like, when you walk in, you're like, Chris is here. You know what I mean? Yes. But there's also a way that can be viewed negative, and how you deliver that message can make it really messy. So when you're in a group of people, I want you to think of confidence as not necessarily being the loudest and leading with your resume, but having that quiet, classy confidence. So the first thing in a group, which we already talked about earlier, was the simple concept of smiling. And there's a lot of anxiety sometimes in groups, especially if you're attending a networking event as a business owner, entrepreneur. It's a lot of new people. You may not know anyone. So the biggest thing you can do to portray confidence is your body language and smiling. Think about a grocery store. You have your cart, you've done all your shopping, you're ready to go to the checkout, and there's 2 lanes that are open. One cashier has their arms folded and they're scowling and they look miserable, and the other one is smiling and just seems very pleasant. Both lanes are open. What lane are you going to pick?
The one with more joy.
Yeah, I mean, you are, and that's just human nature.
Yeah.
You know, so even such a simple thing as smiling in a group of people makes you appear confident, but it also makes you feel more warm, approachable, inviting, and pleasurable to be around, which that's what people want. The second tip in a setting of how to be interesting and engaging is give and receive compliments. So when you meet someone and they share an idea that you really like, tell them, thank you for sharing that. That was a great idea. And that's giving a genuine compliment, but that shows your confidence, because you don't need to say, that's great, let me add. And I don't mean never add to a conversation, but you know what I mean? You don't need to one-up them. Right. It's showing that confidence that you can support them in what they're speaking about by giving them a compliment. And if someone says something nice about you, I want you to eliminate this from your vocabulary. Thank you, but. Eliminate it. It's gone. I used to be the queen of thank you, but. I do a presentation. That presentation was amazing. Thank you, but. Oh, that one part. Or, Sara, you look amazing tonight. Thank you, but. Oh, my hair. You know, anything. It was always a thank you, but. And if you think about what you're doing, you're actually not only putting yourself down, but you're also insulting them. They just gave you a compliment, and you are saying thank you, but. So you're demeaning what they said to you and yourself. So it's kind of that double-edged sword if you really think about the context of that kind of dynamic of a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fourth really important tip that I love, and this is so helpful in networking events to build your confidence, is ask questions. And the action step that I want to share with this is make a list of questions so you're prepared. And it doesn't have to be the boring, what do you do? Where do you live? Where do you work? You know, we all hear those questions. I mean, at a networking event, what's question number one? What do you do? Everyone asks that. So you know what? To show your confidence and to be engaging and have people remember you, ask something different. What project are you working on that you're really passionate about right now? What plans, if you know they have children, what plans do you have with your kids that you're going to do this weekend? Something that's not going to be your typical question at a networking event or at a holiday party or anything like that is going to make you stand out and going to make you feel more confident, because people are going to happily engage with someone that is asking them these amazing questions. And let's not lie, people like to talk about themselves. That's just how it is. So for you to come across confident at an event, you need to be the one asking the questions and portraying like, I'm confident in myself. I want to know more about you. And then the beauty of that when it comes to sales, if it is a networking event, someone's already warmed up to you. You've asked them questions. Maybe you've asked what their struggles are. And then, oh my gosh, amazing. I have a service or product that can solve your problem. And look how easy that mention of the sale comes in, and all you've done is ask questions and have a general interest in getting to know them. So
that's awesome. Awesome. I love it. And some other questions that I ask, what gets you out of bed in the morning? What do you asked, you know, what are you passionate about? Like, what's your vision for your life? What's your mission? Why are you here tonight? You know, what did you come out here for? Like, thanks. I always, I welcome people as well, acting like I'm the host, kind of behaving as the host. Thanks for coming out tonight. What brought you out here? You know, and like that, like, okay, so you're here to meet people. Why are you really here? You know, challenge people beyond the responses that they give you. Like, have them be like, what? Like, so so why'd you come out here? Well, I'm a, you know, whatever, paralegal, and I came here to possibly find some new clients. It's like, great, awesome. So why did you really come here tonight? And people are like, what? Like my answer didn't work.
I love that. That's great.
I got to think of something real.
That's great. I love it. Thank you for sharing those. Those are wonderful.
Absolutely.
And number 8 today that I'm going to share is wear it with confidence. And I cannot stress how true it is that what you wear matters. And I don't mean this that you need to go out and, you know, get a fresh new haircut, Chris, you know, and all that kind of stuff, or go totally get your hair and makeup done and buy new clothes and all of that. I don't mean that, but I know, especially for me as a woman, and if you can relate to this, Chris, I'd be surprised, but you never know. As a woman, I have worn a dress that I loved at an event, and yet it was a little tighter than I wanted it to be, or a little shorter than I wanted it to be, and I felt like half the night I was pulling it down or pulling it up. And it's the same with heels. Like, they're not that comfortable all the time, I'm not going to lie. So if you wear really uncomfortable heels at a networking event, you start to walk different. You don't want to move around the room as much because your feet hurt, you know, and it's not like you can kick off your shoes and keep mingling. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. I've never been to an event where anyone did that, but it may happen. I haven't seen it. But what you wear matters. And even, you know, for a gentleman, if you have to wear a tie and, you know, your partner bought you this tie, but you really don't like it, and you wear it because you love the person that bought it for you, don't wear it to an event or to a presentation that you really need to show up for. Because when you're not loving what you're wearing, it affects how you walk, how you talk, how you carry yourself. So I would challenge all of you to open your closets, ladies and gentlemen, and go through your wardrobe and really like pick 3 to 5 power outfits. And I want you to actually put them on and look at yourself in the mirror and walk around a little bit. I call it, am I red carpet ready? Am I like ready? Like it? Could I strut that red carpet and feel amazing in this outfit? And then you have these outfits that are your go-tos. If you have that presentation at work and you're really desiring a promotion, you know you have, I feel amazing in this outfit. I got to wear one of my power outfits today, or a networking event or something like that. And then you don't have to waste time and think about it. And you're like, nope, I'm confident in this. I feel good. I look good. Yes, I'm ready to go. So those are my 8 tips today.
To catapult our confidence. Boom, baby.
Yes.
Love it. I love it. So, Sara, what is something you didn't mention that, maybe you felt 8 tips, you got it, like those were the solid 8 that didn't make the cut, but you still feel our audience would benefit from around confidence, around mindset, around just showing up as our best selves?
Probably I would mention mirror work. And this is something that I do often. So it's taking that confident language to the next level. Yeah. If I'm to sit here and say, I'm confident, I can do this, I can master this skill. It's different when you actually look in the mirror in your own eyes and you say it. There's a much more powerful mental and emotional connection to those words when you're actually looking at yourself. So that would probably be one thing that I did not mention today. Awesome. That has really served me in the past, and I would definitely share that one.
That was gold. Thank you so much, Sara.
You're welcome.
Gold. So we're starting to wrap up now, and you gave us a couple actionable tips. Like, what do you want our audience really walking away doing, being, and becoming?
I want your audience today to know and truly believe that they can have the level of confidence that they desire in their lives. And I want them to try anything that I talked about today. It doesn't matter if they do it all or if they pick one thing. I would just encourage them to try it, because as I said, that practice is so important. And when you're doing things to better yourself and learn and grow and develop something, you have to try it. Maybe mirror work isn't going to resonate with someone, and they're going to be like, that's not my thing, I don't really like it. But creating a rockstar folder where they're listing out, maybe they're very type A, and making a list of all their accomplishments is like, this is my jam. Like, this is good for me. You know what I mean? So take all these tips today, and I would encourage you to implement them all, of course, but just be willing to start something today. Start something today and make anything and start to create a new habit, whether it's look at your list every day or every week, or talk to yourself in the mirror every morning, or just start shifting your language when those, negative thoughts come up. Whatever that is for you, just start doing something and figure out a way to remind yourself to do it. So whether that's put a Post-it up and, remind myself to be confident today, or set an alarm on your phone, or whatever you need to do, when you create a new habit, you need to remind yourself until it becomes a habit. And these practices of building confidence, you're going to have to think about it. It's not just going to be second nature when you start doing it. So, and give yourself grace is the other thing that I would like everyone to leave with is, if you fall off the confidence train and you're not having a good day and you're spiraling down, give yourself grace and know that it's okay. And everyone does not feel amazingly confident all the time. I don't. Chris doesn't. Your confident role model that you thought of doesn't either. So it's really important for you to give yourself grace to be in that space when you're not feeling your best. It's just about having the ability to move out of it quicker and easier and back to your confident and best self.
Beautiful. I love it. Sara, you are awesome. How do people stay connected with you, and what do you want them to do next?
To stay connected with me, you are welcome to find me on my website, which is www.saracruzcoaching.com. The next thing I would like all of you to do, which will be a lot easier, is I created a free confidence checklist for your audience.
Sweet.
So it's a gift. It's yours to take. So anyone listening to this, you're welcome to go to www.saracruzcoaching.com/confidence, and you'll get an instant access, and you can download your own confidence checklist. So everything I went over today, you'll have a simple little sheet that you can print and refer to anytime you need to.
So awesome. Oh my gosh. Sara, you are incredible.
I love giving presents. Presents are the best. Gifts are awesome.
Yes. Thank you. And our audience so values that. Everyone, if you're listening to this after the recording, definitely visit the beyourgps.com website to find the download link to make sure that you get access to this confidence handout that Sara has created just for us.
Yes,
so,
just
Sara,
for you.
Sara, you're the best. Seriously, thank you so much. Your energy is off the charts. I love it.
Your energy is off the charts. That's why we get along so well, Chris.
Yes.
So it's been an honor to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me today. Yes. This was a blast. And if I can support anyone or you in any way, don't hesitate to ever ask. So
absolutely.
Thank you.
Everyone, follow Sara, friend her. She's amazing, adds massive value everywhere she goes. I've seen it. I see it. I will continue to see it. She's amazing. And
Thank
Sara,
you. I appreciate that, Chris. I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being a light in this world, empowering people and giving people access to being self-expressed, to being confident, and creating their reality.
Well, thank you for having a platform for so much value to be given to people and keeping that passion alive to make people have a better life. So I commend you on that. And I think what you do in these podcasts are truly amazing. And I don't even know how many people I've shared your podcast with. A lot, which that will continue. So keep sharing the value, Chris. I love it. And thank you so much for today.
Awesome, Sara. You have the best day ever.
You too.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.